Hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, you know what's interesting is that your mic is coming from there. Okay. All right. Well, good morning, everybody. We are live on America's Mom today, and actually, we are recording for our show. Sorry, there we go. We are recording for our show today, but I thought this was going to be so much fun that I didn't want a lot of you guys to have to wait. I want to introduce to you a fashionista, conservative, pro-life mama, executive boss babe. I'm so excited to have you with us, Carla Nicole from Culture of Life 1972. Welcome to America's Mom. Thank you for being with us today. I am so excited to share you with all of these amazing mamas and dads. Got, fathers are looking for cute conservative clothing for their daughters, but your story is just so much bigger than that. So welcome to America's Mom.
Thank you so much for having me. And I'm thrilled that you found us because this is just going to be a combustible, I think, collaboration for life. I'm really excited about everything that you're doing too to get the word out about Culture of Life 1972 and just protecting all life in the womb from the moment of conception. So I know that you know that there are millions of dollars annually that the fashion world is giving back to the abortion industry. And that is why our family right here in Pennsylvania started Culture of Life 1972. We are a tiny little fish swimming against all of these huge brands like Nike, Patagonia, North Face, all of these brands that you're going to be shopping for Christmas, or you shop for graduation, or you shop for back to school, and they are targeting our pro-life principles. So we've been in business since 2019. We are a purpose-driven business, and we are partnering with pro-life organizations, pro-life podcasts like yourself, and pro-life families really across the United States of America, because our product doesn't only promote in our words and logos and the website a culture of life across the United States of America, but we also give back to pro-life organizations. So again, remember, when you go to shop at Walmart, when you go to shop at Levi's, when you go to shop at Kohl's, when you go to shop at Macy's, they are giving back millions to the abortion industry. And we won't even talk about the millions that they're also giving back to just anti-family, anti-country, anti-God. Let's just focus on anti-life today.
Well, 100%. I want to jump in for just a second. So I'm actually wearing one of your designs. I absolutely love it. I did decide, and I have decided in my own mind, that I will be supporting America First, family first companies that love the normal things that we Americans love: God, our family, our country, our freedom, like principles, right? And so I love this dress. I actually had a picture I posted up with Dr. Simone Gold from the Women's Freedom Summit this past weekend. I'm telling you, everybody was stopping me, asking me where I got this dress. And I want to just say too, for everybody watching, you want to go find it. You can be looking on Instagram while we're doing our interview right now. COL 1972, and the clothing's beautiful. The quality is incredible. The jewelry is amazing. I did order some jewelry too because I am a jewelry junkie, and I loved it. I already ordered some gifts for family and friends, and the price was amazing. So I just want to put that out there right away. I don't want everybody being like, this must just be some, Hollywood boutiques type thing. The clothing is beautiful, and it can be, but there's also this part of it that we need to be supporting fellow patriots and working together. I also absolutely love the Culture of Life sweatshirt. I just want to say it is my favorite sweatshirt already. It's got the splicing. I absolutely love it. It's gorgeous. Everything's beautiful and trendy. But let's talk about why your company is called Culture of Life 1972. What happened in 1972?
Sure. So 1972 is the last year that we enjoyed a culture of life here in the United States of America. Back in 2017, Hollywood and designers at Fashion Week in New York City were handing out buttons that said, fashion stands with Planned Parenthood. And also they started designing product that was applauding and glorifying 1973. 1973 is the year that Roe v. Wade came in. And if you know your numbers, since 1973, there have been 60 million American children that have been denied the right to life. That's a staggering, staggering number of human beings that have been denied the right to life. So, and we do live in a culture of death right now. So We're Italian. We sat around the family dinner table as we were eating our, gravy, our sauce. That's when we do our best thinking, Sharona. And we came up with, how do we counter a culture of death in 1973? And really, it was a God thing where we said, well, let's just call our company, our brand, we are trademarked, Culture of Life 1972. It was really a God thing. A lot of people said, you are crazy, you are nuts for going out there, starting a website, starting Instagram and Facebook pages, and wearing t-shirts and the sweatshirts that you ordered and the dress that you have on that is privately labeled COL 1972. But we wanted to use this as a really fabulous conversational piece. So I'm sure that you have discovered that people come up to you and say, where did you get that fabulous one shoulder zebra dress? And you're able to say, it's this new brand, Culture of Life 1972. And sometimes that's all you have time to say. But then other times they'll say, well, what does that mean? And you have opportunity to share with them a little bit about the history of a culture of life and what 1972 means. I'd like to touch back. I can tell that you want to piggyback off of what I'm saying, but I'd like to touch back at what are we doing now since June 24th in 2022? Because I'm sure your listeners know that that was a monumental moment for the culture of life movement. Yes, where we had our judges, our 5 judges that are heroes for the movement that said, in the United States of America, we are going to overturn Roe v. Wade, and we want to be a culture of life again, not just for the 300 million people that live in the United States of America, but the entire world. We at one time were a light to the entire world for a variety of things that we were leading in. And again, I'm not going to go down this path of politics that we could really blow up. But what a joy and a privilege and an honor it is that once again, our Supreme Court just a few months ago said, we are going to lead for life. Shame on the other 4 judges that said they prefer living in a culture of death for their families, for their future grandchildren, for their current grandchildren. That cannot be blessed. Death leads to death. Life leads to life. Fear leads to fear. Happiness leads to happiness. So this is kind of a simple message. I don't think it's rocket science. So when that happened, June 24th, 2022, we just started partnering with keeping the 1972 because we never want to go back to where the Supreme Court is leading for death. And we still want people to ask us about that year and what does that mean. But we also are now coupling 2022 with a lot of our products. So you'll see a lot of our Life Tribe wearing not only our 1972 necklace and our 1972 bangle, but they are now partnered with our 2022 gold necklace and our 2022 stackable bracelets. We have stackable rings, and it has been used in a combustible way for people to say, what does the year 1972 and 2022 mean to you? Why do you have that on? I was born in that year, or I have a grandchild that was born in that year. And it's really been used in a very positive way. And now, of course, you know that just because we've overruled Roe v. Wade at the Supreme Court level, it has now gone back to all 50 states, which is what we have opportunity to say. And a lot of our states have gone right back to protecting life from the moment of conception, like Arizona. Like some other states that are escaping right now. Yeah. But then there's a lot of states like Mississippi and Alabama and states that have gone back to when there's a heartbeat, we are going to protect that life. I live in the state of Pennsylvania. Our leadership here is battling hard to keep us living in a culture of death. They are promising to allow children as young as 12, 13, 14 without parental consent to be able to kill life inside of them. So up to 40 weeks, just like New York is doing right now. We have to applaud states like Virginia that are also battling to eliminate abortion completely. We will be blessed, you guys, when we choose to live in a culture of life, shop culture of life. Our words are edifying a culture of life. Our country will be blessed.
Well, you know, you're definitely ahead of your time because we're watching people right now. I mean, the most recent was the incredible explosive interview with Tucker. Kanye West gets on and says, I am unashamedly pro life when he talked about the statistic from New York that more Black babies are aborted every year in New York than are born, and that he was watching Black people literally they were killing themselves, killing their own children. I mean, they're only 13% of the population, which is insane when you think about, hundreds of years where there should be population growth. And so for him to come out and say that within the week, he's canceled by Chase Bank, told that he needs to find a new place to put his, billions of dollars. What does that mean for you? So you're definitely ahead of your time. You're definitely opening up the doors for people to have a place and an economy where we are, like you said, we're choosing life and God's going to bless that. But what was that like hearing him say that? I mean, one of the biggest names on the planet.
That was really exciting hearing him say that, and our family, because we have had challenges with marketing and branding and getting ourselves out there, because the culture of death is very strong in our society. And they do things to bully, harass, and take us out. And you saw that with the cancellation of Chase Bank and many other people that are going to pull away from Kanye West for standing up for this. So I applaud him for choosing God's way over the government's way. I think it's really important to understand that Kanye West doesn't just wake up and think that life is important in the womb because the government tells him it is, or because some textbook tells him it is. For many of your listeners and my family, we understand that we are following God first. And by the way, when you follow God first, that does not mean that you shut off your brain. It means that we actually think a lot more. And there are people in this country that I believe are shutting off their brains to follow the government. The government tells them that life starts at 12 weeks. Oh, no, 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 we're changing that to 40 weeks. Oh, no, no, no. In California, they're changing that to, you know what? If you have a toddler who's 1 year old, they're still dependent on mom. That makes them really not that important. So if that child happens to die from neglect, we're not going to prosecute that mother, that father. This is beyond, this is infanticide.
This is the pathway. I mean, Margaret Sanger laid this pathway out.
Yes.
And this is exactly what she always hoped people would do. She said the most genteel thing a family can do, or the best thing a family can do for themselves, is to eliminate their toddler.
That's
And
right.
she literally said that. So to watch it happening in real time in these select areas, it is horrifying, and it is actually happening. I come from Colorado, Carla, and we have the same law. It's actually more vague than California's law. So there's no guidance yet, no legal guidance yet on whether or not you're going to be able to murder your toddler in Colorado, but it appears so by the law that was written, and people are not aware of that. What do you think? What does it do for you when you hear strong? I know we're not necessarily talking politics, but policy matters, and governors create policy. When you hear conservatives who are running for office, or they're getting involved, like in Pennsylvania, and they start backing away from their original pro-life message, how do you handle that?
So that is very concerning. Here in Pennsylvania, I can just share with you that we have Mastriano who's running against Shapiro, and we have Dr. Oz who's running against Fetterman. So I know both of them personally, actually. So we hope and pray that they stay with that pro-life message. What we tend to do, our family will look at the other side and say, we know Fetterman is very bold in saying he will fight to keep every abortion law in the state of Pennsylvania. And we know Shapiro has a record of keeping the same very, very frightening abortion laws in the state of Pennsylvania. These are also two guys that, keep in mind, do not just have their finger on winning in Pennsylvania. They have the prize on getting themselves to Washington, D.C. So when you think about what the other side is doing, we will be backing the people that are most pro-life, even if they appear that they might be not as bold as I would like them to be. And let's go back and just look at history, right? Just from a few years ago, we had Trump, this man who was running against Obama. He was running against Obama at the time, right? Yes. But no, Obama was already in twice.
I mean, essentially, you know what? That's a Freudian slip there because really we know but
Yeah.
Hillary Trump or Hillary Clinton.
Hillary, thank you. I know. I actually wiped her out of my mind. She was running against Hillary. And a lot of people were saying to us, well, we don't trust Trump. And we know that, in the past, he's actually supported Hillary Clinton. And I remember our family was actually battling very hard for Trump because we felt like if a woman like Hillary Clinton gets in, who she's many times said that Margaret Sanger is her hero, and she has a history of voting extremely pro-abortion. And we know that Trump was saying to us that he was going to protect life in the womb. And we had a man who, at the time, was really very pro-America, very pro-Christmas. There were little things. Bring yourselves back to 2015, 2016, when you were hearing the mantra, build the wall, protect America, and you got this excitement inside of you. And for those of us who are part of the pro-life movement, to hear someone say that he wanted to protect the life in the womb, let me tell you what that man did for us. Number one, he is the reason that we now have overturned Roe v. Wade. I always get a little, I know, it's really exciting. For those of us that have been spit on outside of, Planned Parenthoods, we've had people, urinate. They put urine in their water pistols and will squirt water on us. And so for us to have a president that stood up and came to every one of our pro-life marches in Washington, D.C., and he was just so fearless for life inside of the womb. So to answer your question, I would say we need to vote for that leader that is the most pro-life. We might see them floundering a little bit. You don't know what's happening behind the scenes. They are getting enormous amounts of hate. They are having people pull away from them. And in my experience, I wish that the conservative Christian movement unified as well as our enemies unify. So we tend to say, oh, they're not Jesus Christ. We're not voting for them. That's really a bad criteria and standard to have, because we all make mistakes and we all don't do things as perfectly as we would like. But I'll tell you something, because I've led in my state and I've led in my county. It is not easy. You get hate every single solitary day. You get canceled every single solitary day. And just to circle back again and talk about Chase, canceling Kanye West, and I'm sure he's being canceled by a lot of other things right now too. When you think about Levi and Strauss Company, and you think about Lyft and Uber, and you think about Amazon, that after June 24th said, we are going to step it up and really help the culture of death. They're not saying the culture of death, of course. They think that they're empowering women, but this is how I'm speaking. We're going to empower the culture of death. We're going to give $5,000 to our employees, up to $5,000, which some of them now up to $10,000, for them to go across county lines. So let's say that they live in Arizona. We think it's horrible that they cannot choose to end the life of their child. So we're going to give them $5,000 to $10,000 to go across state lines, to go wherever they need to go. We're going to pay for their gas. We're going to pay for their airplane ticket. We're going to pay for their hotel. We're going to pay for their abortion in full, 100%. We're going to pay for any complications that come after the abortion. You and I can talk about complications from abortions that no one ever talks about. The other side certainly doesn't talk about it. They claim that it's like going in to get your wisdom teeth taken out. Nothing could be further from the truth. They are an agenda of lies from the pit of hell, literally. So when you hear that, for those of us that are thinking people, we have to say, why do they love a culture of death so much? Why is Levi and Strauss trying to kill future employees? Kill future customers? I mean, if I am a thinking person, I want to be a culture of life so that you, Sharona, now have daughters and grandchildren, because you're choosing life, that are going to shop with me. Or daughters and grandchildren that I can hire because I want their thinking minds. I want all of their great ideas, their imagination. I want them to come and be a part of the Culture of Life team. What kind of employer says, I'm going to help you abort your child? I'm going to help you abort the future of Levi's, the future of Amazon. We are in a demonic battle. That's the only thing that comes across my mind. I mean, these are companies that are standing up and choosing death. And then you have a few companies like ours that are standing up and saying, please, we're here. Come and check us out. Come and give us a like and a comment. And, shop with us for Christmas. Shop with us for graduation. Shop with us when you need a change of clothing or you're going on vacation, you need a sweater. We are not a t-shirt company. There's a million pro-life t-shirt companies out there. As you are wearing our gorgeous dress that is made in the USA, by the way. We try to buy as much US made fabric. That fabric is also made in the USA, but it is getting harder and harder to do, especially with this administration in the White House. It's getting very hard to find USA made product, USA made fabric, because it is so much cheaper to go abroad and get it. But that is something else that we're also committed to as well.
American made, with a cause. It's interesting. Not only are, the things that you're talking about are just so important for people to understand how they're racing after the culture of death. They're
Yes.
racing. There are states that are competing right now to get that business for abortion. So Colorado hires Jared Polis, the governor hires Amy Schumer. Chuck Schumer's niece, Amy Schumer, to do a commercial. The comedian, I say that very loosely because she's not funny, hires her to do a commercial begging people to come to Colorado to kill their babies. It's unbelievable. It's the most disgusting commercial. Then, in California, you've got Governor Newsom using scripture, using the Bible to actually compel people to support abortion and to have abortions in the state of Colorado, or of California, rather. They're so closely aligned politically now, I can't figure out which one is which. It's really incredible, all the things that you laid out. They're chasing after a culture of death. And guess what? They have a ton of money to try to shut down people and businesses like yours. Did you think it was an act of courage when you opened up Culture of Life?
I really didn't, because our family has stepped out in faith forever. And I'm raising 3 daughters to step out in faith and be courageous, because as parents, our children are the future of the United States of America. So for the parents that are listening, the grandparents that are listening, we do not talk to our children enough every day. And believe me, it's 24/7 in our house, about standing for truth, standing for light. The darkness hates the light. People that lie hate the truth. And just to prepare yourself to get hit hard. We don't know how we're going to get hit hard. I try to be very hopeful when I'm being interviewed, but there may come a time in the United States of America where we are being put in jail for standing up for truth. There's the moment in time in America right now where you can lose your job for standing for truth. There are, I'm a homeschool mom. My daughter is sitting right now doing her online academy. And I believe that there's going to be a day coming, if we do not continue to stand for truth and continue to stand for our parental rights, that, like Germany, you're not going to be allowed to homeschool your children, because you guys know that this government wants our children. They want our children. They don't want them to be thinkers, and they want their children to hate their parents and to hate truth and to not think and to just like sitting and getting a check at home and not having to work very hard, and going down a tangent, of course. But
it all aligns. It all aligns, beginning with the hatred, the destruction in the womb, to, okay, if we can't get them there, then we'll get them when they're born. We'll take them at preschool age, 2 years old and up. The state will control it. The state will fund it. The state will indoctrinate them. And then they'll tell you parents when you can have your own children, and maybe what you can, I don't know, maybe feed them. I mean, the
yes,
limitations and restrictions are definitely there.
And certainly what vaccines you're going to have to give to them and what boosters you're going to have to give to them. And if you refuse that, they may take your children away from you. These are things that are already happening in other states. I mean, in other countries, excuse me. So,
and in other states.
Yeah,
That's a true statement.
You're right. That was a bit of a Freudian slip, because you're right. These things are happening in other states and even in other counties. And that's why it's so important to get behind that candidate that is most, pro-America, pro-God, pro-life, pro-family, pro-business. And it's really interesting to me also that these businesses like Chase, Uber, Levi's, Patagonia, North Face, Ann Taylor, Gap, they are willing to stand for death and give a certain amount of money to their employees, but are they giving money to the employees that perhaps want to adopt a child, or the employee that is sterile and would like to have a child? Isn't it very telling that they're not?
It's solely destruction. That's really what it is about. And coming back to the company that you created, the vision that you created it with, the purpose that you created it with, I actually discovered your company watching Abby Johnson, who I absolutely love. Talk about a fearless lady that represents you guys so well. I had seen kind of some of the dresses, but I wasn't really making the connection until the black leather, like off the shoulder dress. I loved it so much. And I was like, looking, I'm like, oh my gosh, I could totally wear that for date night. I just want to clarify because the people that generally are listening to America's Mom we're regular moms. We're regular Americans. We're conservative, and yet we have date night. We want to have fun. We want to look cute. We want, all that kind of stuff. And so you're not a t-shirt company, although my favorite t-shirt is the Ronald Reagan quote shirt, just so you know. And there's so much fun clothing that you're bringing forward, but there was like a real conflict there between maybe more very, very conservative people, and conservative in their dress and everything, and then us more kind of regular people who are a little freer with how we want to be more styled. And so it caught my eye, and that's when I reached out to you, because I was like, I love it. I love what you guys are doing. We are women. We are real women. We are beautiful. We are feminine. We're not trying to hide that femininity and allow men to take it from us, pretending to be us. And I really applaud you guys for not just creating a line, but creating a beautiful line that I genuinely just felt amazing in. I want you to know.
Thank you, Sharona. That means so much to us. And we do have thousands of women that feel exactly the same way as you, and also husbands, men that are coming and shopping for their wives or their kids.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah, I think that, we're always going to get a little bit of hate from here or there, or we're not going to be exactly what everybody likes us to see. But I think that overall, people know the heart and the mission of our brand. And so some of you may feel uncomfortable showing your shoulder. You may feel uncomfortable wearing something mini. However, we have maxi dresses for you or midi dresses for you. And I think it's really important to understand that we may all have different convictions about things, but one thing that we can unify behind is choosing a culture of life. And so we're so grateful for Abby Johnson and the post that she did for us. And, we joke and say that we broke conservative Christian Facebook and conservative Christian Instagram, because we had all of these, conservative Christian gals that were kind of saying, well, I would wear that, I would wear that. But you're exactly right. The reason that we started this brand was to be winsome and attractive, not only for you and for me that love fashion and love to dress well and love to look so beautiful for ourselves, but also our husbands and our children, and have fun, right? We keep saying fashion should be fun. There's some things that need to be really hard and they're not fun, and we need to battle and we need to fight and we need to cry out and we need to, get behind that. Fashion should be fun, you guys. I know that. I do not take myself seriously when I'm talking about fashion. It should be fun. This is the one thing that we should really enjoy. So, but there were some women that were just, well, this is what I think fashion should look like. And, Abby Johnson was going up hard against them, and we were trying to keep it neutral. And, but it was really an amazing thing. At the end of the day, it was an amazing thing. Why? Because we really got people thinking. It put the brand on the map a little bit more. We got a lot more followers. We got a lot more sales. And this is all going back into those family values that are so important to us.
Well, to buy the dress and it was out, so
that's right. I know we just got it restocked today. Our warehouse, the girls down there are feverishly getting those dresses out to y'all. But we wear vegan leather. We don't think that there is a print that is anti-Christian or conservative, nor do we think that there is a material that is anti-Christian or anti-conservative. So you will find that we do have a lot of faux leather at our page and a lot of fabulous cheetah prints and animal prints like you're wearing, because we're wild for life, you guys. We're wild for life. So you're going to see a lot of wild prints.
Carla, I love it. I love what you're doing. Culture of Life 1972. Everybody go find them now, follow, like, and go shopping. There's literally something for everybody, everyone. I will also add the sizes are very few. They are very real to your actual body. So just so you know, I did several different sizes, just checking, and absolutely the sizes are spot on. So excellent job there. My last question for you is, will you be adding shoes? Because we need shoes.
So many people ask us that question. And remember, we are only 3.5 years young. That is coming in the future. And the reason that it's taking us a while is because it's really difficult for us to find a USA made manufacturer of shoes that has a solid price point. They seem to be very, very expensive. And also, when we buy product, and this is something that I learned, because remember, I have a master's degree in occupational therapy, and I was homeschooling my children when God said, you should start a fashion brand. And I was like, crazy.
It's not your background?
Yeah, fashion background, except for that I love to shop and I love to dress and I love jewelry like you do. And I have 3 daughters that love the same thing. But I attack everything with a passion like you do. So I researched everything and I talked to people and I went and shadowed them and I saw how they did what they did. And my family really knew that this brand needed to be started. So we started
It just makes it more incredible. That's
Right.
amazing.
Yeah, it really does. So step out in faith, you guys. So we started this brand, and the shoes we need when we buy shoes or anything like the dress that you have on, there's a certain minimum that we need to buy. We can't just buy one of each size. And so with shoes, I'm going to need to buy 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 half sizes. I need to make sure that I have all that space in my warehouse. It's going to be extra shipping, boxes. So it is coming, Sharona. The answer is yes. It is coming because you're not the only person that asked for that. Plus, I adore shoes, boots, booties, flip-flops, everything. But as of right now, we've expanded on our petites. We now carry extra, extra small, and small, which, by the way, what size is that dress for your listeners?
So this dress is a medium.
Okay.
And then I'm a solid medium in your brand, and the smalls are fit for a small. I wasn't sure because I have a small top and I tend to have a bigger bottom, but it just fits perfect.
Okay.
Everything that I've worn is fit perfect. I did do small t-shirts and tops, and they were perfect fits. Loved it.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. Very good. Yeah, just for people listening, that's really helpful for them. And then we also expanded our curves collection. So 1X, 2X, 3X. So again, we are expanding. We even started some Mommy and Me just this month, you guys, because moms have been saying to us, I want to wear the Culture of Life shirt, but I want a onesie for my baby. And I would like a little t-shirt for my toddler. So we have families that are life tribes, and we also have a men's collection. So it is the sweetest thing when we get emails and there's mom and dad wearing Culture of Life, and maybe the mom has the hot pink Culture of Life shirt on and the little kids. And again, it is a conversational piece, which is the whole reason that we started this brand. We want people to talk about why we want to get back to a culture of life. And by the way, you guys, you are going to identify when you start wearing anything by Culture of Life 1972, that God is going to open up doors. And I have found in 3.5 years of wearing this brand, when I'm at the dentist office, on an airplane, and I do wear it every day, all day long, as do my girls. When I'm in the park this morning, I was, walking at 6:30. People will say to you, I love that message. Or we also have t-shirts that say life is amazing, which I love when I wear that. I wore that one yesterday because every person that walked past me looks at my shirt and goes, life is amazing. And then we'll keep walking, or maybe we'll stop and we'll have an opportunity to share. But it is difficult for somebody to get angry at you over a cheetah print dress or a zebra print dress, or when they ask you where you got your earrings. It's hard for them to be like, well, what do you mean? You've already got them. They're already like, well, who's this super cool person? I love that dress. She looks exactly like me. And you hit the nail on the head. When you go to our Instagram page, when you go to our Facebook page or Twitter or YouTube, we're trying to grow YouTube right now. You will see that we do brunch, we play tennis, we golf, we wake up late, we have pajama days. Like, we are lovers of our family, we are lovers of life, but you know that the other side, the culture of death, says, no, they're not. They're mean, they're evil, they're haters, they hate you. No, we don't hate you, by the way. In fact, we have people that follow us that have had 6, 7 abortions. Abby Johnson has 30,000 abortions on her hands from when she was leading in Texas. at the biggest abortion clinic. On our website, we literally have our last line says, all are welcome. Our company is bathed in grace. We want people to come over and ask us questions. We want to look winsome, attractive to them. And we want you to be a part of the culture of life, no matter how many abortions you've had or maybe done or encouraged other people to have. We want you to come over to the side of life. And we're winning today. That is why the enemy is getting so bold. They know that we are winning for life. They know that we have ultrasounds that you can now see that it is not a frog or an amoeba inside of that mother's womb. They can see at 12 weeks the little fingers, the little hands. Our children in America are not stupid. They can hear the heartbeat as early as 6 weeks. And they're not stupid, but they're also not angry and hateful the way our enemy chooses this society to think we are. We have 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, and 7-year-olds that are compassionate. They know more than Schumer, like you were saying, or Pelosi, or Biden, or Clinton. These 5-year-olds say things like, what do you mean they want to kill children inside of the womb? What do you mean they don't want to protect life inside of the womb? Which also brings something else out, Sharona. We need moms and dads and aunts and uncles. When you are pregnant, let your children feel that child inside of you. Put that ultrasound up on that refrigerator as early as you possibly can. Start praying for that child because it makes it a child, not a fetus. We never use the word fetus in our house.
What a strange word anyway.
Right. It's a strange word. Well, because it was created by the enemy and it's a lie and it's odd and it's confusing. Let me just give you some other benefits to shopping with Culture of Life 1972 or allowing your daughters to go to cultureoflife1972.com to shop. You're not going to see our models in promiscuous poses. Well, because they're my children and my husband would kill me. So
they are beautiful girls too. Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
One thing you do that I love is when there is a model in an outfit, it always lists what size they're wearing and what their height is.
Yes.
So you can get an idea of what it would look like on you. That was very helpful, by the way.
Yes, we try to be as helpful as much as we can to the people that are going to our websites or calling us. Because it obviously makes our job a lot easier also if we're not manning so many calls about what sizes should we wear. So we do try to make it easier for you all when you come to our website. You will also not see any gender confusion on our website. We love women being women. And by the way, we know what a biological woman is. We know what a biological man is, and we celebrate that. And we think that both sexes are so important. And we could actually go down the path of, just like you said, that this word fetus was made up by the other side. Gender was also made up by the other side. Two sexes.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all there is. Man and woman. That's it. And even if you're trying to be one or the other, you're trying to be one or the other.
Right. So, so when you come to our website, we've discovered that when God started this brand in 2019, we thought that we were just going to be leading for life, but we're actually leading for a lot more issues that have come up. And one of the other things that we've discovered, just if anybody's listening out there, is that probably 2020, so a year into our brand, where we were working tirelessly, and we still are, you guys. We're only 3.5 years young. Like, if any of you have ever started a business, like, we want to get to that 5-year mark, and then longevity. We hope to be around forever. We don't want to just be a little sizzle in the frying pan. But we've discovered that God is also using our brand and our small business for women that are fashion majors at their universities. They're coming to us and saying, we were interning at this place that we had to design genderless clothing, or we had to do branding and graphics that were genderless, or applauding, a flag that we disagree with, or applauding and glorifying an entire month that we disagree with. You know, do you have any internships? And I was like, we don't, but let me look into it, you know, and within 2 months we had internships for these girls that, you know, we're a sanctuary for them. They come to us and we're like, yeah, we just designed for male and female, and we actually applaud and celebrate men and women being men and women. And we actually can't celebrate anything else because we would be encouraging a lie to the masses. And I can't do that. And so, you know, I pray that our company's around forever. It will be around forever unless we get canceled hard and people are, you know, we're already beginning to get kicked off of Instagram and Facebook. I shared with you off the air that, you know, Facebook for the last couple of years does not allow us to do Facebook or Instagram advertising during Black Friday and Cyber Monday and up until Christmas. That is the biggest time to shop. So, you know, like I say to my kids and like I say to all of our Life Tribe followers, God is bigger than social media. He is laughing at Facebook and Instagram.
Well, I mean, really, we want all of our people to be sharing out what you're doing, and your posts are so cute. They're so fun. If everybody just shoots one up on their Instagram, just share it to your Instagram options. Women have options. Shop here. I mean, that's a great way to just spread the word. It's like you have all your own little social marketers who are supporting this because we say that we want companies that we can stand with. We cancel companies now. We've learned how to do it that are not representative of our values, whether it's Netflix or life insurance for that matter. When they were going after kids and grooming kids, we know how to do it now. So let's take our money, put it where people are really investing in the causes and the things that we believe in, and especially in our children, especially in a future for these little ones. And Carla, Nicole, thank you so much for everything that you're doing. Your family is incredible. And I know it's cost you guys, and I hope to have you on. We'll talk about that another time. But I mean, anytime you stand up for what is right and what is true and what is godly and holy, you're over the target right now, and you're over the target in your life. And I just really thank you for that and for all that you're doing.
Thank you so much for having us this morning. And yes, we just encourage everybody to go shop COL1972.com and please share with your tribes that we exist because that is how we have grown.
Share it everywhere, you guys. This is what we do on America's Mom. We push out the things we love. We go after the things we hate. Push this one out today. And say it one more time. It's COL1972.com.
Correct. Yes.
Send it out, ladies. All right. Thank you so much for being with us today.